All right, let's look at the practical domain and practical range here of this function. Again, this function is given to us in symbolic form, so this is a symbolic description of the relationship between R and M. It's an equation or a formula, if you will. Let's go after the definition here of a practical domain. It states, the practical domain of a function, it's the collection of all replacement values for the input variable that makes practical sense in the context of a real-life situation. So the difference between practical domain and domain here is that we're including a real-life situation and trying to think of what would make sense for this input variable values to take on. Well, the problem is we don't have a practical situation. There's no context here, real-life context. So we can't even discuss what a practical domain would be, and so we'd say in this case there's none. There is no practical domain. All we can say is there's a domain here of all real numbers for that guy. And same is true as for practical range. Let me give you the definition here. It says, well, before that, let me go to a real life situation and give you some hardcore evidence of practical domain. Okay, B. Consider the following function here. Here is a function defined by a table of values. It's what we call a numerical description of a function. Here we see this does represent a function. Each input value here is assigned to one and only one output value. And here the variables are the days worked in a week and the total pay in dollars, where P is that, $100 per day. Okay, so here we have a practical situation, and so the question is, what are the possible input values? Hopefully you agree this is your input variable, or this as the word description. What are the input values for D? That would make sense in this contextual situation. The context is days worked in a week. And these actually we can list out. So the question is, how many days can you work in a week? That would be the practical values for D here. So you could have 0 days work, take the week off. You could have 1, 2. You can have all of these. But certainly couldn't have 8. 8, there's only 7 days in a week. So this is the practical values, or all the possible replacement values for that variable right there given this context. That's it. And when we list out numbers, we like to use these squiggly brackets, which really means a collection or a set of numbers. So there's my practical domain. You see how it's different from this one? There is no contextual real life situation, so there is none. Here there is, and so we can actually list those out.